What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Times.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? Welcome to another episode. I think I read that one kind of like NPR. You know how they had that monotone as they go through? It's a different variation of it, but welcome back. So please check out Monday's episode if you have not already. So we talk about Apple and a vulnerability that you should have already patched out, but if not, you need to jump on that. So check us out on that one. And then so Monday, Tuesday are topics. Wednesday's discussion. So discussion one, I think it's going to be really good this week. Thursday, I'm not sure if it's going to be an Ask Us SP or if it's going to be a throwback, but I do have one lined up for Ask Us SP. So either be this week or the following week. So definitely check that out. And then Friday's everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. But without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article is from bleepingcomputer.com, written by Sergey Gatlin, and the title of it is Apple opens 2024 applications to get security research iPhones. So if you watch the previous episode, you'll see why this is something that they want to start doing, right? And they want to get into the habit of. So I've never heard of Apple doing this, but what they're doing now is they're offering up security research devices, right? And they're doing this by the end of October. So the SPDs that they're giving out are going to be iPhone 14 Pros with disabled security features and shell access, makes the vulnerability research possible on a what Apple is considered as kind of a locked platform, right? So it's not as customizable as Androids are, you know what I mean? But that's for security purposes, right? To keep you from doing the different things that cause you to get those vulnerabilities or cause you to be susceptible to those things. Apple keeps those things locked down, but they're going to stop doing that now, right? And again, if you listen to the previous episode, you'll see why the necessity is for that, right? Based off that IO framework vulnerability we mentioned in the previous episode. So this is a good thing, right? So Apple describes them as specially built hardware variant, right, of consumer-ready devices, providing researchers with the tools required to deactivate built-in iOS security safeguards, right? And so because they're doing this, right, they're also leaving it open to where if you get one of these devices and you discover something that needs to be patched, you are in line to receive a reward through their bounty program, right? So that's a cool thing, right? That's a good thing. It's one of those things where and I've said this before on this show, right? The writing is on the wall for Apple to where you're going to start coming up more when it comes to like different malware and spyware and things of that nature, affecting your products, right? Because you are becoming a larger part of the community, right? So, and when I say community, I mean like phone providers, you know what I mean? Their computers, right? Like they used to have a smaller share of all of those things, but they're coming on hard, man. You don't get to be worth. I think Apple's at 3 trillion now, is what Apple is worth. I want to
Yes.
say three
Yeah.
trillion
Yeah.
dollars. You don't get to be that, you know what I mean, by just by charging a bunch of money for your products, which they do, but they still got a lot of them out there, right? So this is something they're trying to get on because they want to be they want to not be in the news so much for the things that we're talking about right now. You know what I mean? So they go into it. Again, applications are open until October 31st for people to go in and try to get one of these devices and do the bounty notification, because in the scheme of things, like the bounty program for them, like it's really good, right? So like you always talk about a drop in the bucket when it comes in the rounding errors, right? For the money they give out for
Right.
the bounty program, right? Like they can give out millions and just be like, like their cigars with $100 bills. Like that's where Apple is at now. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but for them to have people go out there and find these for them, and for them to pay them what essentially ends up being a pittance. Jeez Louise, I can't talk today. Like they don't care, right? It's good for them. It's good for business, right? It keeps this negative publicity, out of the news cycle. So, good thing for them, man. I think it's a good way to go in doing things. Hopefully, it's something they continue doing, right? Because I mean,
Right.
the iOS is updating all the time. You know what I mean? Which is good. Like you got to keep moving forward, securing better, right? So, what's your thoughts on this, Ryan?
So I think it creates an untapped market for them, right? Like is my thought. So initially upon seeing it, I was like, you can't open yourself up for people to buy it and want to do malicious things. However, uh nowadays, like there will be entire companies and groups and forums set up to gamify this and to continue to push it forward to make it a market in itself, right? So we can see people who just jump into this as a side hustle. We can see people who jump into this as their main career to make money off of Apple as they find these flaws, which will only expedite the issuing of patches, the upgrade of security. Like it'll emerge as a market into itself, which I believe is a good idea. And Android was probably already doing it. It's probably already a thing. I'm just not tracking because I've not been an Android user since the Note 3, right? So I've been out of that community for a long time. I always joke about it, right? So if you watch that last episode, because it's terrible over there. No, I'm just playing. But but I am a huge Apple proponent, right? I love their products. I believe in paying for them to stay in their ecosystem because A, I'm attached to it since the Apple 3, but B, because I just like the way they conduct themselves and do business, right? Like so I'm a fan. I'd stay within their ecosystem. And I think this will do nothing but improve that. So yeah, it probably already existed, just like copy and paste was already on Androids decades before they they hit Apple devices. But I think this is a good way for Apple to continue to grow a market that again will gamify it. It will reward those who are out there to find these said flaws, and it will just expedite this process. Because, like you said, they're becoming they're gaining more traction in the market because they're already a trillion dollar company because they you have to pay a premium price for a premium product, right? But now they're also just continuously growing, except for maybe in China. Like we kind of talked about that uh, earlier in the week, where it looks as though China's going to start restricting their lawmakers from using Apple products. They have to use the products from the home team, and regardless if that's because they're trying to push a national agenda or because they're about to start hacking the mess out of Apple, I don't know. That's the future. We will see. Shannon nods like, yeah, that's it. Number two is what it is. So we'll see what the future holds on that one. But regardless, Apple's always going to continue to be a growing market. And I'm excited to see where this eventually goes. So we'll see. We'll see what the future holds, but I don't think that this will be a problem. I think this is a solution to future problems as the market continues to expand for them and they reach new markets. So we will see what the future holds. But again, like always bet on Apple, right? Always bet on Apple to be a decade behind.
You out here sounding like Wesley on the plane, man. Passenger
Right.
7. Always bet on black.
So we'll see what the future holds, and then we'll be talking about Apple next week probably as well. Let's see what products they release. The same phone as the phone before,
But you know what though? I'll be honest here. Like I don't think that's just an Apple thing, right? So like I was with Android for years, right? But specifically Samsung, right? So when I Samsung Galaxies was my go-to, right? And it was kind of the same thing. Like if it's year in year out, you're getting a new phone. It's minor differences between that. But if you're gonna go two and three, generations later, two or three different model years later, you would see some stuff that you're just like, man, you know what I mean? Because I know one of the rumored things with the iPhone 15 is it having a USB-C charging jack now, right? You
yeah.
don't need the
I
lightning.
think I don't think they have a choice. Like the UK was like,
The,
if you want
the
to be over
EU,
here,
yeah,
yeah,
the EU
yeah.
like
Or
kind of
yeah, the
kind of
EU,
forced
right?
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah. It
you're
was like
right.
Suge Knight. Like you
They're,
want
hang,
you want
they're hanging
these
Apple.
phones, yeah. You want these androids dancing all in your videos. So yeah, they don't really have a choice but to. So that I am excited because I'm tired of all these proprietary cables. It's they'll figure out some way to still sell Apple cables somehow. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they'll figure it out.
That is
Um,
rumored. That is rumored to be the
yeah, yeah,
like
they'll
a
be
specific Apple USB-C. I'm like, oh, come on. I thought you were leaning forward with this, but
yeah they'll figure out some way of making it work out in their favor. But yeah, I'm tired of buying cables. Like I still have my original cable for this phone, but like the youngins with their tablets and their phones and the twisting of their cables. Like, why is the cable in a knot? That's why it's broken. Get one of these off-brand Amazon cables that last like a week. So, but yeah, we'll see what the future holds. But yeah, I think this is a good initiative for Apple to be I wouldn't say pioneering because again, this is probably already happening in all the other ecosystems, but an agenda that they're pushing forward within their own ecosystem. I think is a brilliant idea. That's probably Should have happened years ago, but I'm glad that's happening. So I'm all for it. But yeah, continue to tune in throughout the week. I promise it's not all Apple all the time. This is just these two episodes just so happen to coincide within the same week. No more Apple talk for us this week, most than likely. But next week, after the Apple showcase, I'm sure we'll have some stuff to talk about on Friday's episode. Following it, right? How you can implant the new Apple into your brain or something like that. That's why they need this SDK, this SDI or whatever they're pushing out. They got to protect people's neural links.
I was gonna say that sounds like an Elon collaboration a mile away right there, right? Because of
Right,
neuro.
right. Hey, you already have the what is it, the Provision or whatever that's coming out next year, the $3,600 headset that I need in my life.
Oh man, that's too
Need
much.
it. I
Yeah.
need it. Uh, but probably won't be able to afford it. But yeah, definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. So again, Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursday either be Ask a CISP or a throwback to older content that I feel is still relevant or something I want to showcase to the audience, as we do have over 470 episodes, so definitely want to go back into the that gold mine and pull out some of the great content that we have. Then Friday's everything else, so movies, books, games, all that good stuff. So please continue to share us, like, share, subscribe, tune into all the websites that go by our name. You can look me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. Stay safe, stay secure.